Shawn Wolf is a single guy living alone with a nosy neighbor, Miss Roberts, who tries to get too close to him. It seems she wants more than just friendship. Shawn has a boring job that he's always late for, despite multiple warnings from his boss. At work, he comes across a dating website called Chat Page and starts chatting with Lainey, a woman who has written an article about finding love. Shawn follows all her advice, but nothing seems to work. Curious about what went wrong, Lainey asks him to describe his dates in detail. His first date is at a bar with a woman named Pam. At first she seems great, but Shawn quickly realizes she's extremely stressed. Wanting to help her relax, he gives her a quick shoulder massage. Although this seems to work at first, Shawn ruins the moment by leaning in for a kiss, which immediately throws Pam off. She walks out on him, ending the date. I'm pretty sure that wasn't in Lainey's article. His second date is with Dora, a single mother of 3. Since she can't find a babysitter, Shawn meets her at her home, and things start going wrong immediately. Her kids demand money from him, never satisfied with what he gives. It doesn't take long for Shawn to realize that Dora is a gold digger. She also has a wild side, offering him gin in the morning. Thinking fast, he fakes an emergency call to his brother using her phone and rushes out but forgets his pager on the table. After picking up the phone, Dora realizes the call was fake and runs after Shawn, throwing his pager in his face. Yet another bad date. Lainey offers to coach him properly, suggesting they go on a fake date so he can get the hang of things. Shawn instantly agrees. Besides, what's there to lose? Back home, he wakes Roy, an old friend from elementary school, who's now squatting in his house. Shawn had invited him over for a party once, and somehow, that turned into having an unwelcome roommate. Shawn updates Roy about Lainey's, prompting Roy to tease him for taking relationship advice from a girl, but Shawn insists he knows all about women, but he just wants to ask her a few questions. In Shawn's view, women like men who make life easy and buy them things, while men like to provide. Just then, Sharon, a woman he met on Chat Page, shows up at his door unannounced. Sharon always gives Shawn mixed signals. Sometimes she acts like she likes him, other times she seems indifferent. He takes her to his room, wondering why she showed up unannounced. Apparently she misses him since they haven't seen each other in 2 weeks. She asks him to come with her to the record store to get the new So-and-So album. Noticing the posters on his wall, she comments on them, but Shawn brushes it off, calling them freebies. Returning to their earlier conversation, he tells her to stop showing up unannounced and to quit teasing him since he needs to be more than just a friend. Nevertheless, Sharon keeps stroking his arm and admits her life is complicated. Right now, she just wants to be with him. Shawn asks if this is about making Roy jealous, but Sharon quickly shuts it down, saying Roy isn't her type because he's a lowlife. Shawn eventually agrees to get the album and suggests they go to the park afterward. Sharon excitedly agrees. At the record store, she lights up when she sees the album and immediately starts listening and vibing to it. She happily brings it to Shawn, who's browsing through some tapes. He asks if she knows his friend Dee, who used to work there, but the name doesn't ring a bell. Sharon urges him to buy the album, gives him a peck on the cheek, and Shawn finally caves. After paying, they head out, with Sharon still buzzing with excitement. Meanwhile, Dee, who has been secretly watching them, makes a phone call, reporting that he just saw Sharon with Shawn. That can't be good. In the car, Sharon pops in the CD and starts vibing to the music. Shawn joins in for a moment, but quickly composes himself, because he doesn't want her to know he's a fan too. At the park, Shawn admits he spends a lot of time there and takes Sharon to a quiet spot to set up a little picnic. As they relax, he starts applying sunscreen to her legs, and the moment quickly turns intense. Feeling the romantic tension between them, he pulls her closer and tries to initiate something more, but Sharon stops him, insisting she can't. Frustrated by the emotional roller coaster, Shawn demands to know why. She always pulls away when things get too close, making him wonder if she even likes him at all. Sharon assures him she does, but she can't take things further. Confused, Shawn presses for answers and she finally admits that she's married. Yeah, that's right, a married woman. Shawn is shocked and confused that she kept something so important from him, and Sharon admits that she didn't want to lose him. It was just harmless flirting at first, but now she's fallen for him. Shawn makes it clear he can't get involved with a married woman, but she insists she's moved on from her husband. Frustrated with the lies, he tells her to take him home and begins packing up his things. Back at his place, Sharon tries again, insisting she really likes him and never meant to hide her marriage. She explains that she and her husband are separated and planning to divorce. Shawn doesn't want any trouble, but Sharon cleverly uses a different approach. With a somber expression, she tells him she'll leave if that's what he wants, and starts walking away. It works perfectly. Shawn stops her, making her smile. The tension between them intensifies, leading to a passionate kiss. Just as things heat up, Roy's sleep-talking interrupts them. Instead of stopping, they head to Shawn's room, where the night takes an even more intimate turn. Afterward, Shawn dreams about yet another bad date. In the dream, he arrives at a restaurant to meet Kelly, his date from chat page, but she's nowhere to be seen. Just as he's about to leave, a woman sitting with her friend stops him, clarifying that she's Kelly. Shawn struggles to believe it since she looks nothing like her profile pictures. Kelly instantly takes offense, twisting his hesitation into an insult. She and her friend start bashing him for calling her voluptuous, leaving Shawn no choice but to walk out. Even in his dreams, he can't escape bad dates. Meanwhile, Sharon wakes up and quietly gets dressed, trying not to wake Shawn. She tiptoes out of the house and drives home. When she arrives, her husband Rodney is still up, waiting for her. He immediately demands answers about why she's coming home so late. Thinking fast, Sharon makes up a story about helping a friend at the hospital before slipping into the bedroom. Rodney doesn't buy her excuse and follows her into the bedroom, pressing her for answers. But Sharon, sly as ever, turns the situation around, gaslighting him until he starts doubting himself. Eventually, he admits he's just been stressed from work and might be overthinking things. Sharon really is a pro at getting her way. Rodney pulls her into a warm embrace and gently strokes her belly, asking about their unborn child. Turns out Sharon isn't just married, she's also pregnant. The next morning, Shawn wakes up feeling refreshed and excited, even though Sharon is already gone. Humming to himself, he gets ready for the day, dancing around his room and even kissing the posters on his wall before heading out. Later, he arrives at a restaurant for his date with Laniace. A waiter leads him to where she's already seated. Right away, it's clear he's flouted one of her rules since he's late. Laniace wastes no time pointing it out. He quickly apologizes and compliments how good she looks. Nervous, he hides behind the menu, but Laniace immediately stops him, insisting that's a bad habit for a date. Curious about why he struggles so much with dating, she asks him to explain. Shawn starts reminiscing about another past date, one that started off fun but ended badly. Monica Smart, another match from chat page, is energetic and unique, though she has a strange habit of referring to herself in the third person. Wanting to do something different, Shawn takes her to the baseball batting cages for a fun outing. While explaining the game, Monica insists she'd rather cheer him on from the sidelines. He encourages her to give it a try, but she refuses until he offhandedly mentions it's more of a man's game anyway. That lights a fire in Monica, and she decides to step up to the plate. Things go south fast, and the ball flies straight into her face, sending her to the ground. Panicked, Shawn calls emergency services. Definitely a bad date. The waiter approaches Shawn and Laniace for their order, and they settle on their meals. While eating, Laniace asks about more of Shawn's past dates, and he begins telling her about Lisa, another match from chat page. That date never worked out because Lisa never showed up, or so he thought. In reality, Lisa arrives on time and looks around for Shawn. He told her what he'd be wearing so she could recognize him, but she spots another guy dressed exactly as Shawn described. The guy looks nothing like Shawn. Ugly, in Lisa's opinion, which makes her think she's been catfished. Frustrated, she assumes it was all a scam and drives off. Unfortunately, Shawn arrives just moments later, completely unaware of what happened. That's how they end up missing each other, and the date never happens. Shawn then tells Laniace about another date, this time with Samantha, also from chat page. They plan to play volleyball at the beach with two of her friends. Wanting some backup, Shawn brings along his brother Kevin and his best friend Carlos to even out the teams. Things start off well, and everyone has a great time playing the game. But soon, Samantha begins developing feelings for Kevin, drawn to his gentlemanly nature. Eventually, she pulls Shawn aside and confesses her feelings, leaving him stunned. She asks if it would be okay for her to pursue Kevin instead, since it's only their first date. Though Shawn's pride takes a hit, he lets her go because there's nothing else he can do. Another bad and awkward date for the books. Laniace points out that he struggles with being himself. Shawn isn't sure what that means, so she advises him to listen more and be polite, simple ways to stay true to who he is. Just then, the waiter returns with the bill. Laniace offers to pay, but Shawn stops her and covers it instead. It looks like he's already picking up some dating tips. Later, back home, Laniace calls her friend to talk about Shawn. She admits she's fallen for him. It looks like another date is definitely in their future. The next morning, Shawn gets ready to head to the park for basketball since it's Sunday, but forgets his ball after leaving the house. He goes back inside to grab it and ends up joining Roy on the couch, watching music videos. Curious, Shawn asks Roy about his plans for the future. since he spent the last 2 months doing nothing but lounging on the couch and sleeping. Roy confidently reveals he's dropping an album soon and promises to pay Shawn back tenfold, but Shawn isn't buying it. Who drops an album just by watching music videos all day? Switching topics, Shawn talks about his date with Lanius, admitting it was nice. Roy teases him, wondering if things went further, but Shawn clarifies it wasn't that kind of date. Besides, he doesn't think Lanius is into him that way. If only he knew she's already falling for him. Before leaving, Shawn asks Roy for a ride to Kevin's house, and Roy agrees. Shawn arrives at Kevin's house and greets his brother warmly before heading inside to use the computer. He logs into the chat page to message Lanius, but just as he starts typing, the phone rings. Kevin answers and quickly realizes it's a girl from the chat page, someone Shawn has given his number to. Letting Shawn know, Kevin hands him the phone, and Shawn sets up a meeting before hanging up. But Kevin isn't thrilled about it. He advises Shawn to slow down with the women on the chat page, using basketball as a metaphor. One can only play a game at a time, and there's always a loser. Shawn doesn't get the point and brushes it off, pulling Kevin into a bear hug before heading out to meet the girl. But as soon as he steps outside, he changes his mind. Instead of going to the date, he heads to a phone booth and calls Sharon, asking her to come pick him up. He's too curious about why she left his house without saying anything. Sharon arrives soon, offering her usual excuses for leaving without a word. When they reach the park, he hugs her goodbye and steps out to join Kevin and his buddies, who are already deep into their basketball game. Catching up quickly, Shawn starts telling them about a bad date, making everyone laugh. Unbeknownst to them, Rodney is watching from a distance. Trouble is definitely brewing. Just as they resume playing, Rodney approaches and demands to know which one of them is Shawn. Without hesitation, he announces that he knows about the affair with his pregnant wife. Shawn tries to defuse the situation, but Rodney isn't interested in explanations. He instantly draws his pistol on Shawn and pulls the trigger, causing everyone to run for their lives. Shawn collapses to the ground, sending Kevin into a panic, but luckily, the bullet misses. His life has definitely flashed before his eyes. They both sprint to the car, and Kevin, furious, demands to know why Shawn is involved with a married woman. Shawn tries to defend himself, insisting that Sharon told him she was separated, but Kevin isn't having it. He warns Shawn to end things with her immediately. When they get back to Kevin's house, Kevin urges Shawn to call Sharon. After some hesitation, Shawn finally dials her number and tells her it's over. He won't be involved with her lies about her husband or the child she's carrying. He instructs her to never call or come to his house again. Although Sharon tries to explain, admitting she loves him, Shawn hangs up on her. Unfortunately, Rodney overhears the conversation and begins shedding tears, devastated by Sharon's betrayal. Sharon also begins crying, realizing she's been caught, leaving her completely speechless. Overcome with pain, he pulls the trigger. It looks like Sharon is gone for good this time. 2 weeks later, Shawn and Lanius have officially started a relationship, realizing they both have feelings for each other. Having finally found the love of his life, Shawn deletes his chat page account, choosing to focus solely on Lanius.